Well, we turn to 911 when there's an emergency, often counting on those taking our calls to help save lives. But Chief Investigator Darcy Spears discovered one 911 dispatcher who put lives at risk when he got behind the wheel.
This is 911.
The screens light up at Henderson's 911 call center with people in need of emergency assistance. They reach out via phone and text, counting on alert operators.
What was the name of your street again, sir?
In the city of Henderson, emergency dispatchers are called communications operators. They work for the Henderson Police Department, handling 911 calls for EMS, fire, and police.
At the end of the day,
we spoke to Chief Latesha Watson in late June when we began investigating Henderson cops who'd been caught driving under the influence.
We come in understanding into this profession that choices and decision-making matters.
The 911 job description calls for highly professional people with strong decision-making capabilities. One of the people doing that job is Moulton. On October 14, 2017, citizens called 911 just after 5:30 a.m. Metro Police responded to find Moulton's SUV in the travel lane at Harmon and Koval. Police records show Moulton was passed out at the wheel. His foot was on the brake, but the vehicle was on and in drive. Officers repeatedly knocked on the glass and yelled to wake Moulton up. The report says when police asked for his license, registration, and insurance, Moulton presented a pack of gum. They noted a strong odor of alcohol, and he was arrested and charged with DUI.
When you're driving under the influence, you're a potential killer.
Sandy Heverly of Stop DUI works closely with law enforcement. We spoke to her for our initial investigation, too. The story came from cops blowing the whistle on their peers, concerned that DUI cases were being swept under the rug with little accountability.
But when you have officers who disrespect their fellow officers by breaking the law, who disrespect the oath that they took to serve and protect, and become the perpetrators that they're supposed to be protecting us from, it's very disturbing.
Our investigation has identified 6 Henderson Police Department employees caught driving under the influence. 911 dispatcher Moulton and 5 cops, including officers, sergeants, and a former police spokesman. All but 1 still work for the department, and 2 were promoted after being convicted.
How do you plan to take a tougher stance on accountability for the future, knowing, for example, that the prior face of the department is currently facing a DUI charge?
I will tell you, high levels of integrity.
Moulton was arrested 1 month before Chief Watson was sworn in. He didn't return our call for comment, but in court he pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor DUI and is scheduled for trial September 13th. Of the other 5, only Todd Rasmussen's arrest was on Chief Watson's watch. The former department spokesman crashed his personal car into a light pole, causing thousands of dollars in damage to taxpayers. He pleaded not guilty to charges of failure to maintain lane and misdemeanor DUI. He's on paid leave pending trial on November 8th and has also declined comment for this story.
Driving under the influence is a violent crime. And these officers were very lucky, and anybody else who gets a misdemeanor DUI is very lucky because they haven't killed anybody yet, and they haven't injured anybody yet. They haven't destroyed lives yet, but eventually the luck runs out.
Henderson Police will join forces with other law enforcement agencies this Labor Day weekend to crack down on impaired drivers. They say they'll be looking to reduce tragedies and increase awareness about the dangers of making poor choices while driving. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.